Hello, my hyena friends. Let's see what's going on with you today. Or what do you need to know? Who knows? And you appear to be a member of the fire element, or that is particularly active in your life right now. Let's see. There it is. Okay. Hyena, humor, wit, sarcasm. I know I've read for you before. The hyena personality is a jokester and crowd pleaser, but below the surface there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. When the hyena card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humor to express your truth. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments in relationships or to mask things that you feel uncomfortable discussing? What would happen if you took your goals seriously? When in balance, charming, witty, fun to be around. When out of balance, scrappy, petty, suspicious. To bring into balance, sobriety. Okay. You may be someone who is struggling with addictions or on the sobriety path, however you care to put it. I have the utmost respect for those who are on a sobriety journey. I know it's a tough path. Very challenging. So, let's see. The tea leaf cards, the round ones, should help you identify whether or not this reading is for you. First of all, we have the camel, persevere, and you will overcome problems. Leg, stepping into a new experience. Bag, something important such as a new job or raise. Archway, new opportunities, possibilities, and paths opening up. And finally, bird, flying, news is on the way, and a goal-oriented person. So overall, this looks really pretty positive. Obviously, you have your challenges, you have goals that you want to reach, meet, goals, something like that. Generally, things seem to be headed in a positive direction so far. Although, if you are on a sobriety journey, then you are definitely going to have to persevere. And it will be a new experience for you. Which can be a wonderful thing, and of course at times a challenging thing. So, let's see what else. What are your main concerns? I just want to do 3 cards for this. I'm going to stick with the tea leaf deck. Let's see how it goes. Well, that's interesting. You got spiritual love, opportunity or windfall, which is right on your second row here, which is also about opportunities, paths opening up. It's wonderful. So spiritual love, opportunity or windfall. If you are experiencing spiritual love, I'm going to need to define that a bit. And bat, take care. Enemies are working against you. If you are trying to change your life in a big way, there will be people around you, people that you care about, who will not be supportive of your changes because they will find those changes threatening to them, to their own way of life, their own way of being. And maybe they'll have really good reasons for feeling that way. So, something to keep in mind. I think I want to do a separate deck for each of these. Let's see how it works out. So spiritual love for you, the hyena person. What does that mean? How is that playing out? What do you need to know? So you're very much longing for someone. The situation is very delicate. There is a need for clear communication, a lot of communication probably. There's apology and forgiveness on here, so there's definitely something going on. This longing can be not all that healthy, being next door to obsession as it is. Perhaps you need to do some more healing. Oh, wow. All right. This is really in alignment with a sobriety journey, this next message. You're on a quest. Your quest is transformation. It's going to require a leap of faith, a big change in direction. There's this leaves no one behind message here, which is going to be problematic if you're on a sobriety journey, because you're not going to be able to take everyone with you. For example, if you're an alcoholic and you have drinking buddies, unless they choose to also come along on this sobriety journey, which they probably won't, you will have to leave them behind. That is not being disloyal. It's not a betrayal. If you stayed in connection with people who were actively working against what you're trying to achieve, then you are betraying yourself. So that may be a question that you are wrestling with. Anyway, of course, we have stork, so transformation, change. Of course, there's always a connection to birth of a child. But we also have grasshopper, leap of faith. I think this is all about a rebirth for you. It is possible that, there's two cards here that are hinting at the birth of a child, so that is a possibility. There could be someone pregnant in your life, either you or someone that you care about. I can easily see the sobriety journey being a quest. And it definitely requires a leap of faith. Well, this is pretty consistent. However, I'm not quite... So with this, the first row was pretty clear, on how it connects to spiritual love. Oh, here we go. I was wondering why we seem to have strayed, except that you have to go through a transformation, which is pretty typical of spiritual love, I think. It triggers that kind of experience. So, it seems like there is another person involved, and you need to get more information. And it's going to require moving from darkness to light and revolution. Courage. Lots of courage. Not surprisingly, I usually don't do a fourth row, but what the heck. There's a need to remove a lot of baggage, stuff that is cluttering up your mind, your life, cluttering up your journey, cluttering up your path, making it more difficult for you to move. Restoring harmony. There we go. Oh, wow. This is promising. Well, if this is your outcome, or the outcome of this spiritual love, then it looks pretty darn good. You're going to need a total makeover, which, you know, all these other cards are pretty much saying that. You need a total makeover. I don't know what the third party is in all of this. I think that's, you know, you had the do more research card, so perhaps that's what's going on. You need to do more research. And we have passion, chemistry, excitement. And then we have the ladybug, a vibrant, abundant life. What more can you ask for? So that all looks wonderful. Opportunity or windfall. Okay, that's interesting. What do we need to know about this opportunity or windfall? There we go. Strength. Page of Cups. Strength is going to be required of you. The strength to recognize that reflection, gentleness, compassion, communication, all of these kinds of, what do they call them? Soft skills? I think that's what the job recruiters call them, the soft skills, the ones about communication and working together with others, having compassion for yourself as well as others, understanding. Those are all things that are considered really good job skills, and they are the field of strength. The strength card is not about the use of force. The strength card is about inner mastery. Over, you know, one's beast, inner beast, however you care to put that. And we have the Page of Cups here, so obviously there's a reference to tolerance. I don't think you've quite got strength under your belt yet. It's in a crossing position, so it seems like I'm bringing up jobs here, which is interesting. And I think that's because, well, this is opportunity or windfall. So maybe it's a job and it's going to, they want the soft skills. Maybe. That's why I keep talking about them, maybe. But we have the Six of Cups. So reminiscing, nostalgia. And we have the King of Cups. No, King of Pentacles. King of Cups was underneath the King of Pentacles, which is interesting. So the Page of Cups is someone who is learning about their emotions. They are not masters of their emotions. They would not be masters of the soft skills, although they have that potential, certainly. Six of Cups. This could be some childhood issues that need some work, especially since the Page of Cups is there. The combination of the two of them makes me think of inner child work. And that doing this work, all of this work, all these soft skills that you may or may not have been taught to value, probably not, are what's going to lead you to prosperity, the abundant life here that everyone is hoping for. So there are really, except for the King of Pentacles, there's nothing here about a new job. I mean, I guess there was in the tea leaves, but I don't know why I keep talking about a job. All right, well, I think that's covered that one pretty well. Let's look at these enemies working against you. Let's do... Which tarot deck do I want to use? Or let's look at archetypes. Sorry, I'm bumping into the support here. I haven't looked at archetypes in a while. Enemies working against you. You've got the Forest. Your enemies may be yourself. The Flame. Anything else? Oh, okay. All right. All right. For enemies working against you, we have the Forest, the Flame, the Pilgrim, and the Mountains. Or the Mountain, sorry. Okay, let's see. Starting with the Forest, just because it came out first. That's number 36. Oh, wow. The Mountain opened up. Okay. All right. The Mountain is 33. Okay, the Forest. The woods, the thicket, the jungle. Consider for a moment your earliest memory of the forest. It's likely it included all the mythic dynamics of this archetypal space. A little fear, a little enchantment, perhaps losing your way, perhaps discovering a secret mystical treasure. Such is the magic of the forest. It requires first that you enter it, and then that you get lost within it. You may think there is a path to lead you straight through, but soon enough you'll be on what is known as the pathless path. There are tricksters here. Well, a hyena is definitely considered a trickster. That's interesting. Dense foliage and entanglement, but equally present are the glimmers of fairy light and friends among the trees. You're on an adventure now, and there's no turning back, so embrace the dim light and the moving shadows. Whether literal or imaginal, brave the forest and get lost, getting found. When light, magic abounds, childlike wonder, adventure. When dark, concealment, density, savagery. The hunter, the maiden, the crone, and the shaman make regular appearances in the forest. Don't be surprised if these cards come up together. Let the narrative reveal itself. They didn't come up together, but... If you get out of the forest without feeling lost, you are only in a little grove of trees. The great archetypal forest requires we spend at least one night frightened for our lives. Next we have the Flame. 51. Wow, it opened right up. Okay. The fire, the spark, the glimmer. In Sanskrit, the word for fire is Agni. The ancient yogis saw this flame at the center of the abdomen and believed it to be responsible for our vitality. When it is lit, we are connected to our purpose and sense that life is a sacred gift. It is said that those who cannot see the sacred around them have let their inner flame go out. Think of this card as a call to reignite that fire, to cup your hands gently around those things you've forgotten, and protect the flame no matter how harshly the winds around you blow. It could be an inner archetype that begs you to light its wick. It is likely that the poet, the mystic, or the shaman would call to you with the language of the flame. Well, the shaman's come up for you again, even though it didn't come out. We may have to take a look at that one. Next we have 20, the Pilgrim. The wanderer, the traveler, the apprentice. For the pilgrim, an outward journey is always an inward journey. The archetypal wanderer seeks wisdom, experience, and meaning in the farthest reaches of the globe and the deepest regions of the spirit. Others will wonder when the pilgrim will settle down and claim a more conventional life. But the pilgrim knows that the heart belongs in motion. Where there is motion, there is freedom, expansion, and growth. Responsibilities, social conventions, and logistics lull us to sleep, and soon the pilgrim becomes veiled in the slumber of the day-to-day. Yet when this archetype awakens, it rallies our sense of adventure and leads us out the door to a new reality. With the pilgrim at your side, you will never lack courage, nor do you need every amenity. Travel light, travel soon. Your spirit needs it. It doesn't have to be a physical journey. Remember, it said the pilgrim always travels inward. And I have met, honestly, far too many people who felt that they had to go somewhere else to find themselves. You don't have to go somewhere else to find yourself. You're always here. The inward journey is far more important. Anyway, when light, learns, grows, adapts, studies. When dark, aloof, non-committal, flaky. Even in the stillness of meditation, the pilgrim feels the movement of the heart toward what it loves. We all have a deep longing to answer the call to get unstuck. What are the obstacles between you and the door? And here we have the obstacle, the mountain. 33. The mountain, the ascent, the peak, the insurmountable. The mountain stands eternally in our awareness, calling us towards its peak. It stirs up stoic and regal feeling, reminding us of the long line of spirits, sages, sadhus, and gods that made their humble thrones within its snowy peaks. Beware, though, as the mountain can affect us in two ways. It can inspire and enliven us to reach to new heights and peak experience. Yet it can also create isolation, competitiveness, and an inflated sense of self. Standing upon its heights can activate the purist and the perfectionist in us, creating separation from those we deem to be below. No matter how high you ascend, remember that it is within the core of the mountain that the gems, minerals, and jewels reside. If you think it's all about going up, you're following the fool's path and missing the miner's magic. So again, go within, just like it says here. Perhaps the ego is your main enemy right now. When light, grounded in the eternal, steadfast, uplifting. When dark, ominous, daunting, isolated, frigid. Research mountains. Find one that strikes you and stare at it for a while. Where is it? The pilgrim may be awakening in you. The summit calls. That's funny, right? The pilgrim and the mountain are right next to each other here. Contemplate Joseph Campbell's suggestion. You are the central mountain, and the central mountain is everywhere. All right. So, in Chinese medicine and Taoism, there is what are called the three burners. The dantian in the abdomen, a couple of inches below the navel. And when I was reading the flame thing, it was talking about your agni going out. It reminded me of the dantian, also called the sea of blood. And it is present in all people. Anyway, my sense right now is that you are your biggest enemy right now. You have 2 cards here calling you to go within. The Forest is about a lack of clarity. It may be you have an overinflated ego. A healthy ego is necessary for boundaries, but if it is giving you a distorted view of yourself, your significance in the world, then it is not helping you, and you need to overcome that particular challenge. It's also good to understand that we are all one. We are all in this together. It's one of my issues with this idea that everyone has one person out there. Or that we are separate from each other when we're not. So, it sounds like this is really your big issue right now. Remember when we did the tea leaf cards to help identify whether or not this was your reading? It looked like things were going pretty well in your material world. With the, not really the exception, because if you're on a sobriety journey, that is a wonderful thing. That is definitely a step in the right direction, or many steps in the right direction, as compared to being under the influence and unconscious of whatever drives you, or you had allowed to drive you. And lighting this fire again, this Agni, may help you enormously to see that there is so much more to life. And you have undoubtedly gotten lost, which is the Forest. We all get lost. All right. I think you have enough to work with there. I am wishing you all the best. I do believe you are headed in a good direction in many regards. And yeah, it looks like you have a very positive outcome predicted here. So keep going.